You don't want it too tight. And if you have smokers and pets, you want it even less tight. So that's what these numbers are actually used for. They're not used in any kind of qualification or anything else. They're just going to be used when we go on and look at the blower door directed ceiling. They're going to be used to help calculate and recommend a target value of what your target value should be, what you want the air leakage to actually target at. So you don't have to put those in if you don't want to. If you have them, put them in, and then the system can do a little more for you. And then it asks a basic question about, basic air leakage. And you have to put it in, and I'm not even sure what it's used for, to be honest with you, but that's what DOE wants, so we have it there. And I always just put it's got uniform air leakage. It's normally shielded, but of course if the house is sitting on top of a hill, then you might want to say it's exposed, and if it's sitting in the middle of a forest, maybe it's protected. And the normal leakage, and they may actually know, the client may actually know, that they have some small cracks or they have large holes. So they may be able to actually give you this information. So this is the basic information we fill out. The other thing we want to fill out here is declare that it's a weatherization job. So we say it's a weatherization job, and I'm filling the form out right now, so I'll put my name in here as the agency user who's filling this form out. But you could actually pick an auditor who's actually going to go on site, so I could do that. Pick on an auditor. So that's basically the job record, and now I can save that. This will actually create the job for this particular customer. So now if I go back to client job list, I'll see I have one job. It's got the number I gave it. I called it my Arrow 122 job. Still scheduled, meaning that the auditor hasn't gone out site and actually physically audited the site yet. They're just scheduled to do it. And it gives you some basic information about it on that list. And again, it's a link, so I can just click on it, and it'll bring me back to the audit form. And I can do a couple of things here. I can do a form header at this point, and what it does is it brings up, again, a sheet I could give the auditor that has the address and the basic information about the house. And if there was any, if I had picked out any of the other information about it, for example, if I said they've got to check because they think they have knob and tube electrical wiring, or they need asbestos abatement, or lead paint, they have moisture problems, they've got volatile organic chemicals, or if the house was built before 1979. And it gives them the heated volume and some of the numbers, and gives the basic air leakage information for the house as a cover sheet. And then the other thing we actually have in the system right now is the actual the assessment form that you could bring up and print out. So it's actually just a standard assessment form, and this didn't come up in a pop-up for me for some reason, but again, it's just the standard assessment form, so it's no big deal.
On the job status site, drop down, could we have like a waiting list on that also? Because our intake person can create this part, and we know what's happening, we can have our job number, but we may not get to that person for a year, because we've got over 700 applications.
Okay.
So this would give us more of an idea than just having that, your ID number over there, which doesn't give us any idea of what.
Well, there are reports that you can get for waiting clients.
But they don't have my file number on them. This is the only chance I see my file number.
Yeah, that was a question I was going to ask you when we were talking about the application file, Tim. You said that that number is auto-generated, and this is something we need to discuss offline. I was wondering if we could add a field, because ordinarily we have the work order number on the file, the application file and things, but we could discuss this offline.
Yeah, I mean, the application number, the client application number is guaranteed to be unique. It's not a number that you couldn't just start using, and it would then automatically tie to the work order number because it automatically uses the application number for the work order number.
Most of the agencies use a customized number. A lot of times they identify their county or something like that in it. And also
Okay.
too, maybe what kind of funds it is.
We can look at that. As I said, the existing system is set up to let you input a client ID number if you wanted to do it. So again, we go back to the client job list here. So I just went all the way back to the main menu, looked at my client list, pulled up my client record, and then went to my client job list and pulled up my client job. And again, this job is created, but nobody's gone out and actually done the audit yet. And so now, let's say the auditor has gone out, the auditor comes back with some information. At this point, we could actually deny the job because it exceeds, the only classification we got right now is to deny the job because of excess of benefits. And excess of benefits just simply means that the house would not benefit from a weatherization program because it's too old, it's too dilapidated, it's, you know, either that or it's already been weatherized or for whatever reason. If we need to add additional reasons to why at audit level, again, a job would be denied, the client would be denied, we can add those. But the basic idea here is the job is being denied because the auditor's gone out, and if I bring up the denial letter, you can see it's actually going to sit here and say, it's going to give the agency and the contact name, and it's going to give the name. It's going to give them, you know, we have basically reasons here, and again, this is the kind of the standard letter, and it has not been fully customized for Georgia yet, so this isn't locked in stone. But basically, you know, the reasons are the repairs are beyond the scope, you were weatherized previously, we haven't been able to reach you, you failed to provide the information required. This one would have come up earlier on client intake where your income exceeds the allowed or the landlord has not signed the required agreement. The most common one you do at audit is the repairs will exceed the scope of weatherization. So again, all you have to do is hit that button, and it'll generate the job for you, the denial letter for you. So we're sitting here at this point, and the job is just scheduled, and John Auditor has not gone out yet, but now John Auditor comes back in. So again, the idea would be is we'd be back at the main menu here, and John Auditor would bring in the priority audit for the client. So we go to the client list. Again, we could just type in, you know, part of the client's name to find them. And it'll bring up the client record, and I can go to the client record, and it brings up my client info screen. If I want to go to my client job list, I can open that job up. The other thing I can do is if I go right to audit info, since there's only one job, it knows to open up that one job, audit info. So now I've got the priority audit list back from the auditor, right? And so now my audit is actually completed. So I pick audited, and I put in the date that the audit was completed. Let's say today, it could be yesterday, or whatever I want. And then I want to save this form to save the fact that the audit was completed. So now the job status is audited. This is the only place where you will have to manually change a job status. You have to change it from scheduled to audited when the residence has actually been audited, been looked at. Once we reach audited, the system will automatically change the job status as it goes down through, okay?